Welcome to Friday Reads and Razzmatazz, the Price is Right edition, starring the baby boomer booktuber. And here she is, Marilyn, Maya.
Thank you, Jackson. And today, the only item on the Price is Right edition is the Kindle. Made by, well, you know who it's made by. And the price was right. Free. It was a Mother's Day gift. And it's so easy to use. You just press the button on the bottom. Wait for it. And it says swipe to unlock the Kindle. And there you are. How easy is that? And it has 6 inches of touch display. And there we go. And there's a home button, and you press the home button, and you're back to your books. Right now, I only have one book. It's North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I got it free with Prime Reads. This is a very beautiful and lightweight e-reader. E standing for, I know, electronic. And it is lighter than both my iPhone and Jackson's Android. And so easy to use. And stay tuned for more Friday Reads and Razzle Dazzle. Aloha and welcome back to my channel. I'm Marilyn Maya, the baby boomer booktuber. And today is Friday Reads and Razzmatazz. I thought of that because everyone has a Friday Reads, and they already took all the good words, I thought. So there's Friday Reads and Rambles, there's Friday Reads and Rants, there's other R words. But I came up with Razzmatazz because I like it. It's a nice word. And I also like my Kindle that my daughter bought for me. I want to talk a little bit more about the Kindle, seriously. So I go home and just like a regular computer, and that's where you have the books that you have and read. If you want to, you can download books from your Goodreads, which I did. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but maybe they can suggest me books. And then you go to the book that you're reading, and this is really good. You can make it as the font as big as you want, and want. And I already read the first chapter. But one thing I learned just recently is that this is also connected to Audible. So if you have a Bluetooth, and I really didn't know what Bluetooth was until I asked my partner, and he told me that my noise cancellation headphones had this Bluetooth. I can't see any teeth that are blue, but I'm sure it has it. Hey, I am the baby boomer booktuber. My experience so far is very, very good. But I want to read my first chapter over using the Audible function. And I think I'll do that with this whole book. Now, one thing that you will not hear on I'm pretty sure, 90% sure that you will not hear this on YouTube. And that's about the Prime membership. I'm a Prime member. And Prime, you get free shipping, and I think it's 2 days shipping. I live in Hawaii, so that doesn't mean much to me. And you also get Prime Movies, Prime TV, and all sorts of stuff, which I wouldn't ordinarily afford. But now this is something that people don't know. Typically costing $12.99 per month. If you have EBT, which is used to be called food stamps, or Medicaid, which is the medical side of that, cardholders can get Amazon Prime with a 50% discount at only $5.99 a month. So, and the subscription includes benefits like Prime Video, 2-day shipping. If you live on the mainland, same-day grocery delivery. And I have a relative who lives in New York and gets that, was very helpful during the really hard days of the pandemic in New York. So in Hawaii, we don't get that benefit. But I wouldn't be able to afford the $12.99 a month subscription without this. And I don't think this is promoted enough anywhere. I mean, but I'm telling you this because during the pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, went on EBT, food stamps, Medicaid, just to survive. So, and we're staying inside. Hopefully we're getting out more soon. But I just wanted to give you that tip. So I'm loving my Kindle. Now, that was all the Razzmatazz that I have for you today. So let's get on with Friday Reads. First, a book that I discarded, or also known as DNF'd, called The Wrong Family. It's by Tarryn Fisher, and she also wrote The Wives, which had a mixed review on BookTube, especially if you have if you subscribe to With Cindy. It used to be called Reading with Cindy. She had a hilarious video about The Wives. So because of that, I kind of skimmed through it, and sort of, when I say skim, I sort of rapidly read it, skipping a lot of parts. The only reason that I did that, because I knew the writing wasn't for me, was that it had an older woman as one of the alternative points of view people. And my project this year is to read books by and from older women, which I think that is very needed on BookTube and just in society in general, because older people are seen as invisible. And hopefully, with more people joining BookTube and YouTube in general, you can see that we have a lot of life left in us. Okay, so this was the wrong book for me, but it might be the right book for you. So what else am I reading? Well, I've read Miss Silver Comes to Stay. And this is an older woman book by Patricia Wentworth. And the Miss Silver mysteries are written between, I'm pretty sure, the 30s and the maybe early 60s. And Miss Silver, she's a wonderful older character of indeterminate age. I would say she can be between 65 and 75. And during that time, she'd never married. So, she's a private investigator now, but she used to be a governess. So I wanted to read, I'm not going to spoil this book. This book was rich with characters and well-drawn characters. And Miss Silver didn't come in until maybe the middle. But I was enjoying this book so much, even before Miss Silver came in. And I actually cried at one point, and I'm going to read you the part where it really touched me. And it has nothing to do with the mystery, nothing to do with any of the other characters except Miss Silver. And this is the part. It's in chapter 32. Miss Silver walked down the drive. The air really was quite pleasant. Cold, of course, but she was warmly clad. Her tippet so cozy. Let me just stop now. And the tippet was like a little collar made of fur that she had for years and years, and it kept her warm. Her coat of such good strong cloth, she felt a sober gratitude for these and all her other blessings. There had been a time when she had expected to serve all her life in other people's houses with no prospect but that of an indigent old age. Now, thanks under Providence to her change of profession, she was in an enviable position of independence. She had a comfortable flat, an attentive and devoted maid, and an insurance policy which enable her to continue these comforts. And I'm so glad that Patricia Wentworth went into that, because so many women who didn't marry were so dependent on relatives who didn't want them, or, even worse things that might happen to them. And she was so grateful that she had an independent income, which we take for granted now, and insurance, which I guess some of us still don't have. So I love this book. And even though this is not a wrap-up, I gave it 5 stars. The other book I read was The Gazebo. And this was written later, so I thought I would like it better. But I didn't. It had, and let me just tell you, it was written in 1955, where this one was written, and I think I had talked about the title of this book because it was 1949. And it was eligible for the 1900 to 1950 readathon, which I talked about in my last video. And The Gazebo, it had a very antagonist mother who I really enjoyed reading about. And as it got on to the mystery, it was a little bit, we knew who did it, and it went into topics that I wasn't as interested in. And the main character was getting a little annoying. But I'll talk about that more later in a wrap-up. As I talked about, I'm going to start a buddy read with the Country Girls, and I bought 2 of these. So when I got, yesterday, I got from Discover Books, and believe me that Discover Books, they really make it hard for you to discover them because they tie it up so tightly. But with my partner's help, and I'm telling you, if it's another Country Girl, I'm gonna get mad, as we say in Brooklyn. Okay, so it's not. It's Agatha Christie, A Caribbean Mystery. I ordered this quite a while back. And let me see when this was written. This is Lil of Lil's Vintage World's favorite Miss Marple mystery. So I had to have it. And it was written, and I hope it tells us when it was written. It tells you her whole collection. Oh, here it is, 1965. So this is quite a later Agatha Christie book. It's a Miss Marple mystery. And I know I read it maybe a long time ago, but let me see if it has a blurb anywhere here. It doesn't, but I know that it takes place when Miss Marple goes on vacation. And she gets embroiled in a murder. So that's all I know about it. So more later. So I'm glad it wasn't another one of the Country Girls. But who knows? I might get a package soon. The other book that I want to talk about is Selected Short Stories by Cora Sandel. And I got this book on advice of Sean, the book maniac, who recommended her other books, which I couldn't find in the library, which is the Alberta series. And I bought Alberta and Jacob. It hasn't come yet. I was hoping that that book was, I think I did order it from Discover. But I'm not a short story reader by nature. I don't enjoy getting embroiled in a story and then having it taken away from me when I'm already interested in a character. But I started reading some of the short stories. In fact, I read quite a few of them. They're only about 2 or 3 pages long. And I have to say they're quite depressing. very well written, but quite depressing. And until the writing is gorgeous. And until I got to maybe 5 stories, did I begin to appreciate the genius that was Cora Sandel. She's was born in Oslo, Norway, which was called Christiana. And she spent her life mostly in Sweden, because I think her husband, who she had a very tumultuous relationship with, I think they divorced, separated, and had a child custody battle. So there's a lot of despair in the books. But as I began to realize, the women characters in this book, though they have so many terrible things happen to them, and they live in poverty. They're also just like not like Miss Marple, but like Miss Silver. They don't have the means. They have to think of ways to become independent. But I wanted to read you just a few lines that really got me on the side of this author. And it's the last story in it's called To Lucas. And this woman, who's Czechoslovakian, during the war, her husband was Lucas, and she doesn't know if he's alive or dead. And she is sent to Sweden. She's saved, but, it's not a perfect life there, and she has to do what she has to do to survive. But I just wanted to give you an idea of the beauty of her writing. 1942, a night in June with a slight wind, a moon, rose bushes in bloom, a whisper of leaves, a fragrance of hay, and you near me, like last year, like the year before that. This is your landscape. You've chosen it like spirits choose the midnight hour. The memory of our summers still stay with me like a fizzling in the blood. Can 2 people be happier than we were? That's beautiful writing, and I'm looking forward to reading more by Cora Sandel. I'm still reading Kitchen. I read the first 2 pages, and I'm in for Banana Yoshimoto. So let's see how that goes. Well, my friends, I hope you like my Friday reads and Razzmatazz and my mini review of my Kindle. So I'm looking forward to really reading my Kindle and reading books on my Kindle. I'm not going to hoard books. I think that I'm still going to read physical books, but I'm glad I have this new way of being able to read with a bigger font and read in bed a little easier. I still love books. I mean physical books. I still love the feeling and smell of a book, but I'll let you know how my Kindle reading is going. So until we meet again, my friends, on this Friday Reads, I wish you health, love, joy, which is aloha.